So here we go. For those of you just joining us, Freedom Cardboard Games, Alpharetta, Georgia. We're going to be streaming our second match of the evening. Another Captain Oicunn build versus a Keyan build. The Rebel Swarm. Yep.
Okay. And this is
So Keyan Farlander. That's going to be on your left-hand side. That's going to be Lambot. He's going to have Keyan Farlander with advanced sensors, heavy laser cannon, and stay on target. He's also going to have a Blue Squadron B-Wing and 3 bandits. Captain Oicunn's build is going to have, on our right, that's going to be Rich, and he's going to be flying his Kittymator build. You can see the lovely paint job on that Decimator and that Phantom. Captain Oicunn is going to be loaded out with Determination, ion torpedoes, which I'll get into in a second, explaining those bad boys, because that is something that's awesome. And then he's also going to have Yazan Izard, Rebel Captive, and Munitions Failsafe. Now Whisper, the Phantom located on the bottom part of your screen, is going to be loaded out with Recon Specialist, Predator, Advanced Cloaking Device, and a Fire Control System. So something that's very interesting, obviously, is about Rich's list is Whisper without a veteran instincts. So he's going to be relying on Predator to take out some of the lower skilled pilots on the other team. Meanwhile, Captain Oicunn with the ion torpedoes. Now, for those of you who are not familiar with the ion proton torpedoes, you're going to be spending 5 points. You're going to be rolling 4 attack dice. On a hit, the results, they stay the same as if a normal proton torpedo attacks on the ship that it's attacking. But if that attack does hit, not only does the defender of the original attack suffer all that damage, gain an ion token, but every other ship at range 1 is going to receive an ion token as well. So this could be a great control aspect for Whisper to get around. Now, Lambot was able to win initiative on his build, so he's giving initiative to Rich to make sure that he can see where Whisper ends up on the table, so that way Keyan can kind of maneuver and shoot at her.
Whisper, who's actually pilot skill 7, which is very unusual.
Yeah, normally you see Whisper loaded out with veteran instincts, but here with the Predator, it's going to be a whole different game. All right, so we're going to be starting the game now. Keyan Farlander located at the very bottom, Blue Squadron in the normal Blue Squadron colors, and then the 3 bandits. The 3 bandits in a very different setup. So we're going to go ahead. We're going to see how this pans out for the opening moves. So the first bandit is going to do a 2 straight. Then he's going to move his Blue Squadron up with a 2 straight forward as well. All right, Blue Squadron, Bandit. And then the other Bandit doing a 3 turn to take up formation in the back with the rest of the Pilot Skill 2 Rebels. All right, next up is going to be Captain Oicunn. He's going to be doing a 4 straight forward. No actions out on the table. It doesn't seem like... Oh, there we go. All the focuses went out. Now Whisper just doing a 2 straight forward. And we're looking for that cloak action.
I'm actually thinking he's gonna target lock here. I don't know about that cloak, the garbage that you're talking about.
Oh, and there he goes. He just forgoes the cloak action, and Keyan Farlander is just going to be moving 2 straight forward as well. Oh, it's just a focus action from Whisper. So some of these tokens going out a little bit late probably still digging some of them out of the trays. So hopefully later on we'll be seeing a little bit more of the tokens going straight on. All right, so we're starting to see some of the hull and shield values coming online for the fighters, the bandits, showing the 2 hull and 2 shields.
Yeah, don't make fun of me. I'm just trying to catch up. The players really wanted to get going, and we wanted to make sure we hit our 9:05 start time.
It's all about punctuality. All right, so we're going to start seeing some maneuver dials get set.
For the next turn coming up here. Let's make sure that I put everything that's what I want. Alright, Brandon. Okay, everything's ready. We got a second match. Sam's new nickname should be Spin Cycle. Kill the Pac-Man. I will personally make sure he hears that. He was given his nickname Nervous Sam by viewers, and
that was during the FCB Store Championship.
Our Store Championship here at FCB, the first one of our Georgia season here on January 10th. And it's because he was kind of fidgety on his first live stream here.
Yep. So here we go. Got the dial set for everyone, it seems, except for Whisper. Now this is important for Whisper to kind of pick out how fast or how slow, the Phantom needs to creep up.
Right.
Because
generally the Phantom would want to creep up from the side. He's just pointing right at that Rebel Swarm.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe his
there
thinking
is dial down.
Maybe his thinking is that the Decimator is more valuable, and he's going to eat that Decimator live. So he just wants to keep the Kittymator in a flanking position and creep up with the Phantom.
Okay, here we go. Bandit 1 doing a 3 bank to left and adding a focus token. Now, with the B-Wing, Keyan Farlander being the same pilot skill, it's going to cause the Phantom to kind of like try and see how far out ahead that that B-Wing can actually make it, because if he can get advanced cloaking device to activate after he fires without being fired at by Keyan Farlander first, he might be able to prevent a lot of damage coming on to him. So here we go.
That is a very good point.
So the whole Rebel, low PS Rebels all doing a 3 bank to the left. And that's going to cause a stress to the blue squadron.
Keyan Farlander has stay on target.
And it's going to allow him to kind of choose which direction he wants to go.
After he finds out where that Phantom's going, he's just going to turn and face him. Yep. He's going to take a stress, which he can convert to a focus.
Mm-hmm. So Captain Oicunn is measuring for a target lock, and he's going to target lock that B-Wing.
The blue squadron there at the bottom.
Who has a stress from doing a 3 bank.
3 bank.
3 bank.
I can hold it, fellas. We're good. Okay.
All right, so 2 straightforward Whisper.
Straightforward. Forgot to take some focus tokens off there. That's okay. Rich is a pro. I know he didn't cheat on purpose. Still
there we go.
Cloak action
Recon Specialist. So he's going to bank on getting some shots this turn.
Yeah.
Now, since he has fire control system, he's probably not going to be worried about taking target locks during his action phase, but he is going to take those 2 focus tokens with Recon Specialist, because he can just continuously stack focus tokens with Whisper's ability, which is after he performs an attack.
That's what I like to do with Whisper.
Yep. After he performs an attack, he's just going to go ahead and gain one.
Lambot is deciding if he wants to take his action, or what action he wants to do with advanced sensors before he reveals his stress.
And there's that. He has the focus out first, then the 3 bank to cause a stress on Keyan Farlander. So advanced sensors on Keyan.
Essentially 2 focus tokens, 1 focus and a stress, which to Keyan is the same thing.
But one is definitely used for
maybe
defense.
To get an evade out of it.
And there it is. Look at that. A range 3 shot from Keyan Farlander onto Whisper. So Whisper's actually going to be able to fire first now. So this is going to be pretty big, because now Whisper's going to get to activate advanced cloaking device. And here it is. All right, so there it is. Predator. and he's going to spend one of those focus tokens for 3 hits. And it looks like 2 blank results. So 2 shields come off
of Keyan Farlander early in the match. It's okay. I'm a B-wing. I got lots more shield.
And there it is. Fire control system is going to activate.
Yeah,
Advanced cloaking device is going to activate. And Whisper is going to give him an extra focus token for all that. So there it is.
You can't argue with the action economy on a Phantom.
Nope. And there it is. So Keyan Farlander measuring for range 3 on Whisper, who's now going to be rolling.
He's got a heavy laser cannon. It doesn't matter.
Yep. So there it is. So that's 3 hits. And oh wow, 4 hits. So it looked like it was
removing that focus to
that stress
to convert it to a focus.
And one evade.
For 1 evade, and that
will. That's going to take down both shields and a hole on the Phantom.
Wait, he didn't draw a damage card. We'll see how it goes.
So he did actually get 1 evade. So it's going to take all of that. All right. So there it is, and there's the damage card. Oh no.
No, he flipped a torpedo. Shooting looks like an ion torpedo at Keyan Farlander.
Oh no! So that looks like 1 hit.
Wait, who'd he shoot at? He shot at the blue squad.
Yeah. And that's going to remove a shield. And it's going to give everybody an ion token. So now everyone.
This thing that Rich doing his hand motions about how to assign those ion tokens.
Yep.
They may choose not to put the tokens out. That they know everybody's just going 1 forward.
Oh nope, there it is. Boop boop boop. All of the ion tokens.
All day long.
Oh no. So everyone is just marching 1 forward. So it would also seem as though Whisper actually did roll 1 evade token.
Okay, and then
or 1 evade.
David just is going to take a bunch of attacks on that Decimator. Range 1
from the front bandit, and then range 1 from the second bandit in the front. And there's going to be 2 hits, and there's going to be 3 hits, and that's going to do it for shields and 1 hole on. Ooh, there's a crit. So we're going to figure out what that crit is, and we'll go ahead and let y'all know.
What's that crit? You take a crit? Damage engine.
And damage engine, and then another 2 hits get through. So now that Decimator is down to 9 hull, and there's another crit. Oh boy. And it looks like structural damage. So structural damage, which is almost, that's basically useless on the Decimator. And there's another crit. Wow. Like I said during the first game, there's so many opportunities to get crits on Decimators. You can really cripple the ability of that ship. So we're going to figure out what that
added the console fire.
That added the console fire to the, so now if Captain Oicunn decides that he wants to ram, he's not going to have an action for next turn,
repair that console fire,
which could cause another damage in the round. So Captain Oicunn is definitely getting focused down really quickly.
I do like where he's going with this eye on the formation and bump whatever's in front, because you know where they're going.
Mm-hmm. Although that could definitely hurt him now, because now he has this gigantic block.
He can't fix the console fire.
Yeah, and Captain Oicunn is now kind of in between a rock and a hard place, almost, literally, because he has 2 asteroids right there where he would be able to maneuver, and that entire formation just marching forward 1.
Looks like another damage on the Decimator that I haven't marked here. I see 4 cards there.
And there's going to be 5. So he has 3 crits on him and 2 hits. So he's down
to 7 hull.
Down to 7 hull.
In the first turn of fire, the Kittymator, that flatteringly colored Decimator, is down to 7 hull.
And that front bandit is going to just go ahead and bump right into Captain Oicunn.
Who's going to, I assume, bump him right back.
Yep. And then the next one, Martin. Now he's not going to bump because they're in a tight formation beforehand, so he's actually going to have an action.
He did fit barely, but he fit.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but that front bandit was forced backward, and that
There's
means
a
that the blue
focus.
squadron's probably going to bump him.
Mm-hmm. All right, so now bandit number 3, marching 1 forward, and he's going to clear. And he'll also get an action. So now 2 of those bandits are protected by that one lone bandit who had distress. And it doesn't seem like blue squadron's going to fit, so he's going to scoot forward.
He's going to bump.
Yep.
Which is unfortunate. He had a stress, and so did that Z in front first.
Yeah, the Z is the one that shot with shot first on the rebel captive.
Oh, right, yeah.
So that blue squadron had taken a 3 bank to the left in the very first turn. Keyan Farlander is going to use advanced sensors.
Bandit 21.
Oh, nope. Captain Oicunn's going to try and move first. Oh, a little bit of bumpage on the table.
Well, it looks like Captain Oicunn is trying to get out of there. Unfortunately, I think it might put him on an asteroid.
Yeah.
But David's going to have to mark
quite a few.
Quite a few ships here.
Just that way we can see where that Decimator will end up. So here we go. You see all the little maneuver templates going out to mark the entire formation. Ooh, and Captain Oicunn is going to make it with a 3 turn to the right.
There's a small chance he's on a rock, but I don't think so, based on where that template.
No, he should be fine. All right, so there we go. All of the templates are down now.
Okay. Rich decided it was better to get Oicunn out of there than to take automatic, or than consider
the possibility of automatic damage.
From, console fire there.
But he's placed himself in a good position where he can't take any return fire from that entire swarm.
I think he can probably take shots from the ones in the back, at least one.
All right, so there's the
bandits.
bandits.
Farlander's going somewhere, but I'm going to guess he's going after the Phantom.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Oh, there you go. So that none of the PS2 rebels are actually going to have a shot on the Decimator this turn.
The Decimator is going to have a range 1 shot on whoever he wants.
All right.
Whisper
Phantom,
is going to decloak down.
Decloak front to back, left, and he's going to be doing a 3 bank. Yeah, that's a 3.
Three.
Yep, that's a 3 bank to the right.
Whisper, get nice in range 1 of that rebel formation.
Now here's the question: Does he take the focus with Recon Specialist?
Warwolf CDL, I remember you from last time, and I really appreciate your compliment there. Anyone who's just turning in, this is X-Wing League play from FCB Games in Alpharetta. We already had one really exciting game where a Super Dash got blocked up for a very long time.
Keyan Farlander chanced it, didn't use advanced sensors or stay on target, and scooted forward right into the guns of a range 1 shot from Whisper.
It looks like he's range 1 at the Decimator also.
And there's the 5 dice. Predator comes out, and there he goes. So he's going to use the focus. And there we go. So it looks like 3 hits and a crit. And there's nothing.
Nothing on that evade.
So that's going to take care of the last shields on Keyan Farlander.
Yeah.
Oh no.
And looks like 3 damage from the Decimator. Yeah. They're just pointing to indicate some attacks for us people.
What? So we're gonna figure out exactly how much damage was done to Keyan Farlander. So it looks like maybe that blue squadron it bore the brunt of the attack. So we're gonna figure out. So what's going on now?
Keyan's at 1.
All right, so Keyan has 1 shield remaining.
Yeah. Sorry, it took a minute to verify. That took Keyan's has
One hull
shield
left,
remaining,
yeah.
or one hull remaining.
One
Excuse
hull
me.
remaining. And then the blue squadron has, it looks like, only one shield remaining. Right there.
Yeah. I'm just gonna go look.
So here we go. Dials getting placed again. Yeah, so there's one shield remaining on that blue squadron B wing. Man, pretty bad turn for the rebels here. You know, those bandits are still, you know, relatively untouched.
Now you know what? It's something funny about you saying a bad turn for the rebels here. I used to play a lot of swarms. I played rebel swarm all last summer. If I saw a big turret, large base, really of any kind across the table from me, I'd be very excited to play against.
Oh yeah.
Rich has he's got a nice twofold attack on either side of that formation. And the strength of a swarm is you can get so many fireworks pointing the same way. Right now, for Lambot, the same way is not the right way.
No, definitely not. And, you know, I was able to play against Rich on Sunday, and he was flying this exact same build. I took, you know, he's kind of like trying to prepare for what he might see here, and I took 2 blue squadrons, 2 rookies with R2 Astromech, and 1 Z95. And, you know, I'll tell you what, that build, in and of itself, the 2 blues, the 2 rookies, and the Z is a lot more powerful, I think, than having, you know, just one anchor on that list. Because if he focuses down Keyan Farlander, which he probably will,
Right,
and kill Whisper, it means that Keyan Farlander will be out, and there goes a lot of points on one ship. But kind of like the, you know, 4Bs and a Z build that has been kind of popping up and showing up, and that as like in and of itself, that build has teeth. I will tell you, but it has the staying power
you're
too.
talking about losing a lot of points. Like in a tournament setting, your points matter as far as your tiebreakers go. So it's very efficient. Like a lot of cheap ships gives you kind of like, to a certain degree, a safety net. If you lose a ship, I got 5 more. If I lose a Z95 early on, that's only 12 points out of 100.
Yeah.
So these 2-ship lists, both of them are worth over 40 points. The Decimator is worth over 50.
Yeah. So it would seem as though the console fire was not cleared last turn, and it did not cause any damage to the Decimator when he rolled for it. The Z95, both of them in the front, taking 3 turns to the left. Next Z95, taking another 3 turns to the left. He's going to maintain his formation. And looks like he's going to take a focus action, possibly bumping Captain Oicunn and making sure that that console fire stays on for another turn at the sacrifice of 1 shield off of a bandit. All right, blue squadron.
I'm not so sure. If I was Rich, I would. He doesn't have enough room to turn away.
Blue squadron.
Edge, but I would just go toward the top of the table really fast.
So there it is, blue squadron maneuvering with a 2 turn to the left and right in front of a rock.
So he's gonna have to hit it next turn, it looks like, but he did not hit it now.
Yeah, and he has a stress still, so you know he's definitely taking a gamble to see if whether or not that blue squadron is actually going to survive this next round of combat. So Decimator, all right, revealing his maneuver, and he's going to be taking a 2 straight forward. So making a smart play here, and he's going to try and clear that console fire. He rolls for it, and he's able to clear it. A little bit off screen.
Just throwing those stress tokens around.
Yep, he had to clear that stress off. All right, so Whisper's
going to activate
decloak to the left.
First. Decloak to the left.
There it is. All right, front to back. All right, well maybe he's going to try. He's going to adjust it. He's going to go front to front.
Maybe trying to make some room. He's afraid of bumping Keyan, maybe. Oh, and he's
then
going to take a
one hard turn to the right.
And it's a good thing he backed up. He would have bumped Keyan.
Yeah, definitely.
Lost an action there.
And it looks as though that he's going to take Recon Specialist. He had Fire Control System activate last turn, so he still has that target lock. But if Keyan decides that he's going to, try and chase after Whisper, where Whisper was, he might see himself get killed if he puts himself within the guns of Whisper, or if he turns towards Captain Oicunn, he might see himself get killed there. He's definitely got to make a choice.
I would keep Keyan going after that Decimator and keep him out of arc of Whisper. He only has one hull left. That 5 dice focused and locked from Whisper is gonna pop him inevitably.
I would probably, at this point in time, I think what I would do is I would have chosen a 2 maneuver on Keyan Farlander. I would use advanced sensors, and then I would use stay on target to switch over to a K turn and just suck up the fact that I'm going to lose Keyan Farlander to the Decimator, possibly at range 3, and try and take out Whisper, who probably won't have arc if he were to move. But you never know.
Lambot, is taking a look at his dial and deciding what he wants to do with Keyan here.
So I don't know if he declared what his action was going to be before advanced sensors, so he's going to figure that out.
Groggy Golem, yes, you did miss the first game. It was a Decimator and TIE Fighter list versus a Super Dash and Corn Horn list. Super Dash was very easily locked down and blocked in by the TIE Fighter and the Decimator. And then it was just kind of a lot of rounds of chasing down Corn with R2-D2. The Empire player won that match. We're about 23 minutes into this game so far. No one's lost a ship yet, but there's certainly been some damage taken.
Yep. And here we go. Keyan Farlander using these advanced sensors for a barrel roll, front to back. And then he's going to use stay on target, and he's going to reveal a two-turn to the left.
Right up after that Decimator, he's going to get to fire and lay some dice on the table against that Decimator before he dies. He's almost inevitably destroyed.
1 hole remaining on Keyan Farlander. You got to make some of the shots count. Hopefully, maybe he'll get a blinded pilot crit. You never know. I mean, anything could possibly happen. There's definitely enough room for crits on the Decimator.
By the way, Groggy Golem and everyone else who's tuned in, thank you very much. Looks like we got about 15 people watching right now. It's a very big deal.
All right, so Yazan Izard activating at the beginning of the combat phase. Keyan Farlander takes a stress from stay on target.
Looks like
Whisper is going to take a shot at the bandit in the very far back at range 3. So bandit number 1. Yep, he's taking that range 3 shot. All right. And it looks like arc is there, range 3. And it looks like he was just trying to see if he can get that B-wing, but
see if they agree that he's in arc. It looks like they do.
All right, so there it goes. 4 attack dice out there. Predator, and he's going to spend the focus for 3 hits and a crit. And there is focus eye. Oh, and he was able to get that B-wing at range 2.
So yeah, that is a 22-point Blue Squadron pilot at range 2, destroyed by Whisper. So just let me update the score here. Lambot, I'm going to call him David repeatedly. Lambot has 78 points remaining.
Man, losing that B-wing, he's losing a little bit more of the teeth on that list.
Whisper, of course, receives a focus token and will recloak.
And he's going to maintain the fire control system target lock on Keyan Farlander in the event that he survives. Keyan Farlander is going to spend 1 stress token to change it into 3 hits. So Keyan Farlander only doing 3 damage, but here comes the counterattack from Captain Oicunn.
Oh my god, I love this stuff.
And here it goes. Oh! And it's going to be hit crit.
Minor technical difficulty.
A little bit of a technical difficulty right there.
I think we might have been kicked off of Twitch or something for a moment there. I hope everyone is back and everything's working. I know we're getting a little bit of lag, but I legitimately think we got kicked off of Twitch for a moment, but everything's live again.
And Keyan Farlander gets cleared from the board. All right, so the Bandits now carrying the team. And there's a hit.
29, 32,
2 hit, or hit crit.
34, 41.
And the crit is... Oh, let's see what that crit is. We're going to figure out what that crit is. And it's a direct hit.
And
that's going to kill the Decimator right there.
Clear the Decimator.
So it's going to be 3 Bandits versus Whisper, who has 2 hull remaining.
I apologize. I had not kept up with the
all of those Bandits were able to take their shots and
damage there.
Helping out. Keyan Farlander gets some shots on. He was able to get 3 hits in, became 2. Each one of the Bandits continued to shoot at range 2 and were able to force down the Phantom, the last one being a direct hit crit.
The Decimator.
On the Decimator, yes. So now you have one Bandit who has a stress. The other 2 Bandits are facing the opposite direction, but they'll be able to do a K-turn.
47, 48, 52.
Just trying to calculate the last little bit of points for Oicunn. So fairly expensive Captain Oicunn goes down. But with Whisper still in this game, with 2 hull remaining, anything could possibly happen. I mean, we've seen plenty of dice, kind of turn south. And, the greens are not very friendly to, being rolled. They love turning up blanks.
The Phantom can absolutely pull this one out, I think. It's taken some damage, but it's got 2 hull remaining. Those 3 Bandits, he's got 2 more attacks than Rich does, but it's 3 weak attacks against an almost inevitably cloaked Phantom's very high agility. Versus the extremely high damage and high maneuverability of the Phantom.
So here we go. We're going to see the 3K turn coming from the 2 front Bandits most likely. With that last Bandit probably taking a green maneuver just so that way he can clear stress and K-turn next turn. Now this is the great part about having pilots that are all the same skill pilot level. You can move in whatever order you want, which is great.
I told you I was one player. It's you don't have to think as much.
Definitely not. There used to be, what used to be my jam was Bloody Daggers, and the reason why was because Skill Pilot 4 is just so wonderful to have.
Right.
And being able to come over the top of people who are playing Skill Pilot 2s, I can clear one of their ships even before it gets to fire, and then they're evenly matched against me. But Whisper and Echo came out, and it just changed the entire ball game for everything like that.
Thank you very much, Rocky Gollum. You should tell all your friends, follow the Twitch page. I will put up the link to our YouTube channel on the stream here in a minute.
After we're done with the casting of these, what we do is we go through and we'll just switch them over, change the format over to YouTube, and you can go ahead and replay some of your favorite moments. Like, for instance, last game, Oicunn finishing off Horn with a ram.
If you missed the first game, Captain Oicunn used his ramming speed ability to clear off Horn at the end of the match.
So here we go. Whisper taking a shot. Hit crit, clears off the shields off of bandit number 1. And then the other bandit fires, gets 1 hit. Now it's against a cloaked Phantom, so we're going to probably not see anything happen. So there's all the evades that toss out. And there's a single hit. And there's 2 evades. So it's going to be a little bit of an uphill battle right now.
Whisper.
Definitely an uphill battle for the Bandits versus Whisper. That one Bandit is going to have to K-turn, who, he's going to have 2 hull remaining. Bandit number 1's going to have to K-turn just to get guns on. The other 2 Bandits are going to have to...
I think there's very little chance that Whisper is still in front of the formation at the end of this next turn.
the great thing about this one as compared to Echo, and here's why I think Echo is the better of the two Phantoms, and we're really lucky that Echo is the PS6 and not the PS7, and that's simply because
Echo's way more jammed.
Echo has some crazy decloak maneuvers. With Whisper, you can kind of gauge where it's going to end up just based off of the 2 decloak to the left or 2 decloak to the right. You just kind of got to imagine it in such a way that you can place your ships in somewhere that they'll possibly be able to fire. Unfortunately, if you place it in range 1, I mean, you're probably looking at a dead bandit a turn, especially if there's no return fire. You can't place all of your shots with the bandits in different spots and hope to get any hits.
There's a strategy you can use against the Phantom if you have a lot of ships left, and that's spread your arcs out so you make sure you get one. But it's somewhat with Whisper, you can stack tokens all day long. So she's going to roll 4 focused defense dice against your 2 attack. So your best bet is to chip those tokens off if you can manage to get more than one shot.
Okay, so bandit number 3 doing a 1 straight forward to clear stress. Alright, bandit number 1 did a 3 turn out to the right with a focus, and then another 1 straight forward. Taking a focus. The focus is key for the rebel player because if he gets to spend it on defense, hopefully one of his bandits will survive. if he's able to evade everything that Whisper does, which is probably going to be pretty rare, especially with the fact that Predator allows for Whisper to reroll 2 of the dice out of the 4 at range 2, and out of the 5, 2 out of the 5 dice getting a reroll on an attack. So here we go.
Whisper takes a decloak to the right, and then a 2 bank to her left. And then he's
a barrel roll. Wow.
Mark of those Z95s.
And move into range 1.
That's right. Brendan, you owe me a hamburger.
Yeah.
I totally said that was going to happen. I would say you owe me a steak, but I'm not really a steak guy, so I'll save your wallet there.
Yeah. Oh, and he's looking to try and shoot at that wounded bandit. Oh, but he's gonna be shooting at range 2. Unfortunately for him, which is only what, 4 dice.
Yeah. He does have a target lock on that bandit though.
Yeah, he does have a target lock.
Better choice if he has arc, and I think they decided he does.
Yep. So here we go.
Prime Arch 359, casted X-wing. What are you? Maybe I'm uncultured.
This is casting. When we're talking as the game is going on, that's casting.
Oh yeah.
Oh, here we go. Look at that target lock. Oh man, he didn't even need to use target lock. He rolled 3 natural hits. He used Predator, so we. Well, no, I guess he did.
Predator and target lock in a confusing way, but.
Yep.
That's 3 hits on that bandit.
Oh man, and there's one evade, so that's gonna kill the bandit. Yeah. Oh boys, now it's 2 bandits versus Whisper, who is relatively hurt, and there's not gonna be any arc, and it's gonna be back to dials. All right. So here's something interesting. We didn't see the advanced cloaking device activate unless he just kind of forgot to do it. No, there it is. Yep.
There, looks like they allowed him to take it now. It's a competitive setting, but we don't run time limits. We play to somebody's table, and it's more casual than in a tournament. We don't feel bad for asking our opponents to take our to allow us to take a cloak token, and David allowed it here.
Yeah, and it was also the very end of the combat phase. I mean, they're cleaning up the tokens and they're moving them around and stuff like that.
Tournament play whenever we have a tournament here at the shop. In fact, our first stream was at our store championship this year. But in general, it's very casual, and we're just trying to share our games with other people who like games.
So now, what we have here is this could be very dangerous for the bandits because they're not facing in a good position, at all. I don't think. He might be able to block one of the decloaks, but is Whisper going to have guns on? Because guess what? One decloak or a decloak to the right, 1 hard turn in, and guess what? He's facing at both of those bandits, where those bandits are going to have to take a K turn if they have any hope of getting shots on, and it's going to be very difficult.
Guys, you're hearing an echo, and I apologize. Let me see if I can isolate that. We've had an echo before. Let me see. Yeah, Brendan's laughing because this is a really frustrating problem.
And all right, so now the bandit is going to ram into Whisper.
jumps Whisper.
So that's not going to take care of that decloak left, but here comes the K turn. Alright, so bandit number 2 takes a K turn, and it's going to add distress. And then Whisper is going to decloak to the right.
So he's doing what we were thinking, or what we mentioned, is he's trying to spread out those arcs of those bandits and trying to get at least one shot every turn on that Phantom.
So he's gonna measure.
He's deciding how to decloak. He's going to go to the right.
Mm-hmm. And if he decloaks correctly, he might be able to avoid the entire arcs, or all the arcs of what is left of Lambot's team. Alright, so here it comes. Looks like it's going to be a one hard turn to the left. So predictable, and yet so unpredictable.
He's going to be out of arc of that close bandit, so he's going to...
He
might take a long range from the bandit down the bottom, but long range is always better when you're defending.
So Recon Specialist, 2 focus tokens out for Whisper. Oh, and it's a range 1 from bandit number 3.
Range 1 against bandit.
Yep, there we go. Oh, boy.
That's going to be a focus.
That's 4 hits and a crit. Oh, and that's going to clear bandit number 3 from the board in one shot. And it's going to cause a cloak action.
It never feels good when that happens.
So here we go, range 3.
Like that.
Yep.
Not even playing the game.
Yep, range 3 from bandit number 2. And there is, what is that, a crit? No. Yeah. Oh, there's an evade. And a lot of focus eyes.
Which
oh boy.
I got focus for days, yo.
Yeah. So Bandit's limited into his, Bandit is very limited in his stress shedding abilities right here. He has a 1 straight forward and a 2 straight forward, which will clear his stress. And then he has a 2 bank to the right or a 2 bank to the left, and he definitely does not want to turn in towards that Phantom really quickly, unless he wants to try and at least, block a decloak, which, could help him if he's planning on decloaking forward, but it's something that I don't think Whisper would probably plan on doing. Alright, so Whisper, decloak, 2 to the right. And let's see what maneuver he chose. And, ooh, it's going to be 1 turn to the right, or 1 turn to the left. And he's going to... Oh, he can't barrel roll out of arc! Oh, there it is. Oh, and there it is. He barrel rolls right out of arc of the bandit.
I'm working on that echo, guys. I'm not finding it while we're live.
And there it is.
There's a setting issue, and I
Predator.
haven't screen to change any
Predator. Nope. And there's an evade, and both the shields disappear off of bandit number 2. And he had 1 evade. So he has 1 shield remaining. Alright. So he was able to use a focus token and evade at least, 1 extra, just suffering both damage, or all 3 of the damage.
I apologize for not updating those names, only because I was looking for where that heck is coming from. Somebody do me a favor, say something on the stream if the echo goes away.
Yeah, that'd be wonderful.
Okay. Seconds. Let me know if at any point in the next 20 seconds the echo dies. We need to keep talking so they can tell.
Yeah.
That is a technical issue we've had repeatedly, and we can't seem to isolate it so it stays away permanently. We fix it temporarily, and it comes back because it hates us.
Okay, so here we go. Bandit number 2 is actually going to be going through. He's going to attempt to block a decloak from Whisper.
And I think he's expecting that Phantom is not going to K-turn. Because you know what Phantoms don't do a lot? It's K-turn.
Yeah, they don't
So
K-turn
he
a
turned
lot.
away, so the only way for Rich to maintain arc would be to K-turn here.
Now, Rich has a rock off to his right, so it's probably not a good idea to decloak to the right.
Down and then attempt a 1 turn.
So maybe the bandit might still be able to get in there.
It would have only been for a few seconds in order to... I disabled our microphone, so we couldn't stay disabled for very long. Hey, no reason for name calling. We're all friends here, guys. We're just Star Wars fans watching a riveting game of X-Wing. Oh, I know. You're HK, whatever.
I have no idea.
HK-47. He calls people meatbags.
I have no idea.
He's the smartest thing that exists. Like he's an asteroid. You ever played the Knights of the Old Republic?
No. You know, I mean, that's funny because I never had actually.
Is an army guy, and army guys don't play video games.
No, I do. Played plenty of video games. Oh man, so there's no shots that turn. It seems as though that Bandit will survive for at least one more turn, but Whisper without a decloak.
We really hope that too, and I hope you can at least understand what we're saying, even though it's probably a little bit more annoying than we would like, or than you would like.
Yeah, I don't have to listen to it, so I'm good with it.
Right? So you had a headset on.
Oh, I know. Yeah, that'd be terrible.
You hear us talking, and then you hear us talking twice.
Yes.
So 3 times.
All of the times. Maybe it's getting picked up on this mic and the one on the... Is there one on here somewhere?
There's one here, but the machine says it's disabled. There's one out there, but the machine says it's disabled.
Oh boy, so here we go. Whisper moving into range and being able to shoot at the Bandit. And it looks like a range 2 shot. Ooh, shots fired.
Killed the Pac-Man.
Predator.
My co-commentator here, Brendan, plays X-Wings in every game, and I promise you, he could beat you with his trip X-Wing list. I don't talk a big game because I'm not a good player, but Brendan here could definitely beat you with his X-Wings.
Oh wow, so 1 damage is able to get through onto the hull of the Bandit.
Oh, he drew a damage card.
Yeah, so there's going to be 1 hull remaining, and... Oh, still no shot back from the Bandit.
That's pretty good. The echo came back. I blame you for that. We maxed like 25. Right now it's less than.
Whisper, checking to see what the maneuver is going to be. Bandit. Oh, still not trying to get the guns on. Maneuvering behind the rock to see whether or not he can avoid.
Yeah, try to put a rock between him and a very damaging
Oh no. And Whisper just going around it, and this is going to be a range 1 shot. That's a 2 turn. Nope, that's a 3 turn.
He fit either way.
Yeah, he definitely fit. And look at that. Range 1 shot. Recon specialist taking the focus actions. There's a fire control system. This is definitely going to be a dead Phantom. Or, a dead Bandit. So here it comes. Predator. Nothing. And he's going to spin that focus for 4 hits, and that's going to be the game. Bandit rolls 2 evades, but it's 2 evades too little, and that's going to be game. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and bring in Lambot, and we're going to see where his strategy lied with all of that Rebel Swarm, and it just seems as though that Keyan was not long for the entire game, which was very unfortunate for the Swarm. He was able to do a lot of damage to the Decimator early on. He was able to get a couple shields off of Whisper, but he kind of he probably could have done a little bit to try and make Keyan stay on target with Whisper, but it just didn't seem to be in the cards for him tonight. And he just took that very first attack, stripping off most of the shields. B-Wings are very fragile with their 1 evade dice and their 5 shields, surprisingly. I mean, they can take a beating, but it's not going to be...
the B-Wings can take a beating, but they can't be beaten. You can't just beat on them forever.
They eventually do run out of shields. And having only the 3 hull, I mean, they'll fall really quick, especially with that 1 evade dice.
So I will go get Lambot in here. If you're okay with it, I'm going to let you handle this interview.
Okay, yeah, no problem.
Yeah, let me get... We really need a third person.
Yeah, oh man. One person run in and out, one person to manage the technical side of it, and one person to be the face. Am I right? Am I right? No. All right. So. Oh. Hate to see that happen with the Rebellion. That's 2 losses tonight. Empire just putting down the hammer. So we're going to go ahead and you guys...
Lambot needs to... we ran a bit later than he had planned. He's going to take off. But...
yeah, so Rich, we can get Rich in here, though.
Rich in here in a moment. Kill the Pac-Man. Do you know Rich personally? Or are you just being a good sport watching TV here? There, I'll dip my head down. By the way, I'm going to flash you. I got Boba Fett up underneath. But it is ridiculously cold in this office, so I didn't take my jacket off.
I actually had to put my jacket back on.
I don't know if you guys live in Georgia or you've seen the weather, the national weather, but it's about 9 degrees outside right now, and the air conditioner is running in this office, so it is ridiculously cold in here.
It's really cold.
Yeah, the boys are cleaning their stuff up. Does anybody have a viewer question you'd like to ask Rich? Lambot had to rush out. He's got some stuff going on at home, but we are going to get Rich here in about 2 or 3 minutes. Yeah, Brock Young, I apologize. We got disconnected there for about 10 or 15 seconds. I don't know what the deal with that was, but...
All right, so Rich Mead, come on in. Talk about your Kittymator, dude.
We want to hear all that super real quick. And
Howdy.
let's get a bunch of questions.
Perfect.
So,
It's freezing in here.
yeah. So first thing first, all right. You're going in. You see the Rebel Swarm. We actually played Rebel Swarm versus your list. Made a couple changes, and how do you think that affected the outcome today?
I think it made a big difference. We on Sunday we played an epic game, and Sam, who's on the previous game, came with the Decimator with the proton torpedo, or it's ion torpedoes.
Yes.
And it just locked up my formation of B-wings for, like, it just kind of screwed up the whole scheme. I was like, oh my god, that's brilliant, we should add that to it. And then we, after that, you practiced with me a little bit, just to kind of get the feel for it, because the Whisper Decimator is kind of a new list for me. I usually fly Rebel stuff. But, yeah, that ion torpedo made the difference, because it locked him up and made it so I could get past him. With the Decimator, and then
That was crucial with that crit when it showed up. Everyone kind of see Captain Oicunn do his thing, and instead you have to go and survive and take that action.
Exactly.
Kept it on or hang around for at least that extra turn to take Ian out.
Oh yeah.
So, talk us through the idea behind Predator over Veteran Instincts on Whisper.
Well, the idea was I knew I was going up against the Swarm, so I could hedge my bets a little bit. Against low pilot skill, I was not expecting to see Keyan. Had I saw Keyan, I might have probably gone a different direction. But I really like the Whisper Buzzsaw, which is VI and then Gunner. And but yeah, this worked out, and he chose initiative, or he chose to give me initiative. So that was starting the game. I was like, oh no. This is going to be rough, I think, but it ended up working out in my favor, because even if he did get a shot that last round on Whisper, or the last round I popped Keyan, because he was debating whether or not to 2K to shoot, because he had to stay on target, and so it would have still panned out in my favor, because I would have shot him first.
So definitely avoiding the, you would shoot first, most likely kill him. And then he would probably get the shoot back with his simultaneous attack. That could have possibly cleared Whisper.
It could have.
Then we saw that Captain Oicunn the next round.
Yeah, he hit the top.
Yeah. Real quick from 395 to Keyan Farlander.
Oh yeah. Well, see, with this list, I'm not a super big fan of Decimators, even though they're really popular now, and it's because they're just kind of big sponges. And I went into this knowing anytime I'm flying the Decimator, I know I'm going into it like it's going to die. So it's just it's got to do what it needs to do so Whisper can do its job. Because Whisper's going to be the last guy on the board or girl on the board, no matter what. So unless the green dice magically fail, which they so often do.
Take a bunch of damage from those 2 dice attacks, and it really gets focused.
Oh, when he hit me the first time, I said, "Oh my goodness, this is going to be that kind of game." Because I lost 2 shields immediately. I was like, "Oh no!" But yeah, he didn't get another shot on me. I think.
With a very expensive, very fragile against the swarm.
I did. Well, I knew I could shoot and cloak, so it wasn't like, and we weren't close enough for me to even worry about getting out of arcs. So I was wanting to get up there and pop that proton. Cause that's why I went immediately right after him out of the gate instead of slow rolling, like most people do, to see what everybody else is going to do. So I was like, I got to get up there while he's still in formation and hit that proton rocket, then get everybody up behind him. So that's why that worked out pretty well.
Right on. So, obviously, a plus for you keeping the eye on torpedo. Determination did not come
It did not. I looked at there was only one. Yeah, a lot of crits, and there was only one pilot crit that was face down. So it was just like, yeah, it was a 1 point well spent.
Yeah, and then the rebel captain kind of working against you on Keyan Farlander.
A little bit, but he still didn't shoot. He didn't shoot the Decimator kill. Well, he did it one time, and it worked out. So he got stuck with stress. But but luckily I got to focus fire on Keyan there one good round, and it did the job.
So talking about your ships, your ships are painted.
Oh yeah.
With Hello Kitty face and
Yeah.
kind of like a skull and crossbones thing going on. So
Oh,
what's the
yeah.
inspiration behind it?
The answer, I got a buddy of mine went to Gen Con and had an extra Decimator when they first hot new ship came out. I was like, and I had just gotten into the game. I was like, oh, I want that. Can I have it? He's like, yeah, sure, cool, whatever. And of course, it's like everybody was fawning over it. And I'm kind of like, I'm not really a jokester, but I like to mess with people's perceptions on things. So I was like, what's the dumbest thing you could possibly do to a badass Imperial ship? Well, let's paint it pink. But I gave it to my buddy Ivan Izagari. And I told him, I was like, paint it pink, but make it Star Wars realistic, like as if Mara Jade herself is sitting there like rocking the Hello Kitty, And so he did it. And it did a fantastic job. So.
D&D meme was everyone has a sword named Foe Hammer or Dragon Tongue, but you can't live down getting killed by a sword called the Fluffy One.
That's true. That is true. That is true. It's also that so people, I don't think it's an intimidation factor, but it's really it's a cool factor. Like, oh, hey.
It definitely does work out because then the rest of your ships, I noticed that you have TIE fighters, you have the Phantom, they're all painted in that same kind of off-pink color. They have like kind of this like rust, this grungy, like used feeling, kind of like the original Star Wars trilogy had. And
Exactly.
It just meshes so well, and it makes it look really beautiful to see those guys out on the table.
Yeah, it's cool. What's funny is like after we got it painted, I wasn't into flying it. I just burned myself down on it, and I was like, oh, I got all these cool painted ships. Well, now I gotta start flying them. So I had everything, I had to start forming squadrons so I could start getting the Decimator, the coolly painted Decimator back on the board. So
This one, I mean, the way they have this built out, I mean, it's not the normal meta. It's not like some veteran instincts, buzzsaw, whisper. It's awesome as it is. You're taking the gamble on the actual survivability of the normal ship.
Well, with respect to the way the meta seems to be panning out, at least now everybody's trying to get more damage, which means more rebel swarms. So as far as a store championship, I think this list might have problems against. I don't know. It wouldn't be as effective against like interceptors or other or the Phantoms, but it'll definitely handle stuff that sticks together. So, and I think it's good enough to handle 2 ship builds, but who knows? I don't know. We'll see. I'm not running in a tournament this weekend in Chattanooga. Yeah. Cool. Oh, it's gonna be an SCB Giga Showdown.
It'll be a great showdown.
Oh man. Yeah, buddy. Cool. Thanks for doing this.
Thanks for coming out.
Yeah, man.
It's a great
It's
game.
done.
It's great to watch it.
Oh, thanks. Glad I can entertain.
Are you not entertained?
Right.
Well, that's going to do it for us here at FCB. We hope you enjoyed it. We hope you come back in the next 2 weeks when we're streaming live again.
Yeah, we got a really, really cool thing for you in 2 weeks. We're going to do, at 7:30, we're going to do a normal featured match, but then at 8:30 or 9-ish, we're going to have an 8-player free-for-all furball game. And it might be a little confusing, but it's kind of cool, so we're looking forward to sharing like our little local format we just like to play on Casual Night.
It's going to be great. I mean, if you tune in 2 weeks and you're going to see the normal 100-point versus 100-point dogfight, and then you're going to see this 8-person furball. It's super fun for those who play it. Hopefully, you can take it back to wherever you guys play. Use some of the rules. We'll try and post up some of the rules as we go through, and you're going to have a great time watching it because I'll tell you what, hopefully they do the bounty thing because you're going to see a lot of ships firing at one ship and then changing direction and firing at someone else. So much fun. So that'll do it for us here tonight. I'm Brendan.